Okay, let's look at how to get some custom images in here and how to play with them a bit. So what we're going to do is I kind of have an image on my desktop already, but let's look one up. So I think I have, I think I looked up, let's go back to the top here. I looked up bird black and white because you want a black and white image. So some of these are, well, you don't want any of these ones. You want a black and white outline. So I think I went down and I grabbed this one right here because I thought it was kind of a cool image. So all I did there is then I just right-click the image and I click Save Image As, and I just saved the image onto my desktop. Okay, once the image is on my desktop, there it is right there. There's my image. All I did was I moved this over and I dragged the bird into Adobe Illustrator. So you can see there's the bird sitting on there. Now the bird also needs to be image traced. So if you recall, we're going to click on Window. We're going to go down to Image Trace, and you can see here's all the options here. I'm going to ignore white. I'm going to do the strokes, if you remember from last time. And I can. Now I'm just going to bring this over here, and I'm going to click Alt, and I'm just going to move it a little bit. If you want to preview what it's going to look like, you just click on Preview, and that actually looks horrible. So maybe for this one, I will keep the fill. Let's see. Okay, so sorry. For this one, I will keep the fill because it looks a lot better. And I'm going to leave the strokes out of it. And then you can play around with some of these, which will make it a bit sharper, or threshold. And you can just play around with some of these different little sliders here to see how it changes your image. Anyway, that looks pretty good. Please make sure that Ignore White is turned on. So I'm just going to turn the preview off. And I'm going to click Trace. And let's see how we do. And then remember, you have to hit the expand button on the top. So that's expanded, and there it is. So I've actually got my image here. Now, one thing I definitely want to do this, I don't want all this black here because it's going to take a long time for the laser to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure my entire bird is highlighted. I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to hold down. I'm going to click on the fill, which is the one on the left, and I'm going to make that transparent. And you can see there's no fill now. There's no fill in the bird. And over on this side, the stroke, I'm going to make it black. So you can see it kind of outlines the bird and gives me, it's more of the style that I want. And I just don't want the laser taking a long time to go over all that black imaging. So that's pretty good. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to shrink this down to a more reasonable size and place it. Maybe I want this on the side of the box. So I'm just going to exit out of here, grab this, move it down, and I'm going to shrink it even more. So maybe I want a series of birds along here. So I can just Control-C, Control-V that, and I have this bird kind of sitting like that. Now this bird, if I wanted to, I can flip it around. So I think if I already right-clicked on the bird there, and I went to the Transform drop-down here. I believe it's Rotate, and nope, sorry, it is not Rotate. It is Reflect. There we go. So you can do a preview, and you can see I'm on the vertical, and that will actually flip the bird around. So I'm going to try that out, and that looks kind of cool. Do that one more time. So if I right-clicked it, I went to Transform, and I went to Reflect. Okay, and I can do the bird straight across here, so I could do them one after another. So that'd be kind of a cool effect. Other than that, I'll just show you quickly. I'll kind of do the same thing. I'll grab this image right here, and I'll bring it in real quick. You can see this is the same kind of deal here. Now with this image, let's say I wanted to remove where it says lab in the middle. I don't want that in the middle of my thing. So I'm going to go to Image Trace right here. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to play around with a preview here. I'm going to maybe set this up. This is not looking super great. I'm going to actually set it from black and white. I'm going to click the grayscale and see it. Yeah, grayscale looks actually a lot better. I'm going to ignore the white. And let's just say that's how I want it. And I'm going to click the preview and click trace. So it'll trace it out. Now what you can do is once you've traced it out and click expand on the top, you see this moves around as one piece. You see if I click on the direct path, it's still one piece. Now let's say I want to take a piece out. I can right click this and I can ungroup it. So you ungroup it and it doesn't look like it does anything, but if I hold down Alt and zoom in, I can actually, sorry, I'll click out here. I can actually move these individual pieces around and I can delete these individual pieces. So I don't want the lab in there. I can just take that out. You can see now it's kind of a different, it looks a little bit different now. So that's a great way to, if you want to take some pieces out or rearrange things, that's an awesome way to do it. Now, keep in mind, if I want to, I'm holding down Shift here to highlight everything. Yeah, so you can see here now if I want to move it, I'm going to have to, see I've actually left some pieces behind. So it's probably best to move it to where you want it to be first. And then, because moving all these pieces separately is going to be not going to be the easiest thing in the world. Anyway, hopefully this has been a useful tutorial, and we'll give you a couple more options to do with your side pieces.